I noticed in the RSL game, just especially in that first half, a lot of flicks, a lot of really deft touches, a couple really good turns in the middle. Are you feeling like you're finding that offensive side of the game that we talked about in the preseason?
Yeah, I think definitely there's been like new moments for me. Definitely still adapting to that position, but I think I'm finding myself more comfortable in that role and in those half spaces, making those runs into the half channels, maybe clear a line for a pass from the wing back into the forward. But I think, yeah, it's something that I'm going to continue to work on. I think getting better in those half spaces, because at heart, like, I still believe I'm a true 6, but for me, this is only going to help like get better in those offensive spaces and keep trying to get to the top of the box and keep trying to just work on maybe now box runs and stuff, and how can we finish the ball in the goal.
Yeah, because there were a couple moments, and then later on in the game, is it working against pressure, kind of being able to be an outlet and being able to kind of open your body up and still maybe progress the pass against pressure? Is that one of the big things that you're still?
I don't think like when you say progression, because we're so used to like with the 2-6s when it was me and Durkin, it's like how can we stay connected to the center backs more and be very tight with them and draw out our opponents to like stay tight with us, and how can we combine to then find the free man? So now it's sort of like an outside diamond roll where it's like in cases where I can get the ball out wide, or if I am lower, just depending on how the other team sets up. Like if they're in a flat 3, if they're man marking, like San Jose will probably man mark. So we just have to see, because then it's an opportunity for me to try to move the ball forward on the dribble maybe, whereas in San Jose and even in Colorado away, there were moments for me that I was able to like get on the half space, turn, try to progress the ball like into the attacking half, but maybe we don't finish on goal. We just kind of now have the ball in the attacking half.
Has this been a more, Yoann talks a lot about changing things specifically and tying them in specifically to the matchup, and you talk about it,
yeah.
You know, if against certain teams those box runs are going to be open and they're not. Mm-hmm. Has this been a more kind of matchup-based system than other ones you've played?
For sure, I think, yeah, because the last few games we've played, there's been low blocks that we've had to try to figure out how to break down and move the ball, be patient, but still have to test the team, play in behind, play wide even more. We're not a team that I think solely relies on crossing the ball, and I think we discussed that a little bit. How can we maybe get to those assist areas a little bit more, assist zones, and serve the ball in the box? But yeah, it really depends on how the team lines up, and that's the thing. We want to be able to take advantage of that in the first 45 to 60 minutes, so we can get on the front foot and we're not having to try to get that first goal late in the game.
You talked about not wanting to be a team that crosses only and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been very flanks based over the last few weeks
100%.
because teams are just burrowed in there in front of the goal. What is that you and Chris who need to kind of help open up the middle a little bit? What is the key to you guys opening up the middle more against those teams, or is it just continue just to be successful on the flanks?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been successful. We're not satisfied. I think like me and Chris at the beginning of the year, and then now kind of maybe when we switch into a diamond sometimes where I'm on the outside and sometimes I'm in the single, or you know, when we're playing together. I think it's like all about, we want to be able to cross the ball because teams are so compact and we can find those assist zones. And I think, you know, Chris and like he can, if he's in that low-lying role, he can play balls out wide. Then it's for me or you know, Conrad, who's in that other diamond space, to make those runs into the 18, like like by the end line. And then it's all about like we work on like the positioning of in the box and how, you know, where each player needs to be at the right time. But it's something that, of course, we want to be able to score when we get the ball in those areas, and it's definitely tough with a low block. But I think we're capable. We have the guys and the quality. We just have to keep going. Like we got to keep the momentum going. We're playing really well right now.
Last one here. Just what is the biggest difference for you in between the pivot and then playing the outside part of the diamond?
I think it's just the pivot. You have to be more disciplined and you're more stationed in that role. Protect the back line. You'll play the ball wide. You have to be connected with the center back, and you're trying to get it off those 3 center backs. And then when the ball goes wide to an outside diamond guy like myself or the wing back, the pivot has to come over and just be that support and anchor inside. And then if you're playing wider, more time to run, roll out wide, try to get on the ball, go on a dribble a little bit. I think even in the Austin game before the World Cup break was a game for me where I was just expressing myself a little bit more in those roles and trying to get more comfortable. But I think when you're playing in that 2 pivot, it's not so much about, like, of course we want to try to break lines with passes into Cello when he was playing, and Edu and all those guys higher up the field, but it's also not necessarily our job to be the ones to progress the ball, because we're also focused on being connected very deep to the 3 center backs.
I this is the last one. Because when you're on that right side of that diamond, especially in his last game, you got Lukas, who's playing almost like a right back and a wing back. You got Conrad, who's always up. I'm guessing you have a lot of defensive duties kind of in those pockets behind them because they're pushing up.
Exactly, yeah. Like in that game, like I was kind of tucking inside, and the left winger was coming with me, so that allowed Lukas to get a little bit higher, dribble up the field, and take space. Because if I had stayed wide, it would have made it easy for the defender to then not press Lukas. Lukas plays me, and then he just comes out wide to me. So it's all about, and that's what Yoann does such a good job with, is like playing with the opposition and the movements and positioning of us, because you can't just do what you're supposed to do. Like, you have to then switch, because the opponent's going to switch too.
Awesome. Makes a lot of sense. Perfect.